2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Standout 7.
Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of the Smart 7. We've got the biggest, best and strangest stories of the week for you in the next 7 minutes. Remember, if you're listening to us on Spotify as part of your daily drive playlist, you can just hit the follow button to get regular Smart 7 updates, with a new episode each weekday at 7 a.m. The week saw a rolling energy crisis, which started with gas prices soaring as the global economy comes back to life, but then also saw a fuel crisis as the UK struggled to get petrol and diesel supplies to the forecourt. With a new higher price cap kicking in on Friday for domestic energy bills, there really wasn't much good news for households across the UK. 3 more energy providers went bust on Wednesday as gas prices continued to soar. The firms Enstroja, Igloo Energy and Symbio Energy had about 250,000 customers between them. Ofgem says their customers' supply will be protected and they'll be switched to a new tariff. At the petrol station, you can expect to see army tankers rolling up with supplies over the next few days, according to Business Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng.
The situation is stabilising. I think people should buy petrol as normal. I think in the next couple of days, people will see some soldiers driving the tanker fleet.
Labour's David Lammy says it's time to name the elephant in the room.
Brexit is responsible for some of the problems we're seeing. On this fuel crisis, there are not queues to get fuel in France, in Spain, in Germany, but there are queues in our own country. And that is as a result of exiting in the European Union with the deal that Boris struck.
Thursday saw a Met police officer who abducted and murdered Sarah Everard sentenced to a whole life prison term. The judge described the circumstances of his crime as grotesque and said that he didn't see any sign of genuine contrition, which is why he imposed a full life sentence. The officer was apparently known to some of his colleagues as the rapist, and a full inquiry into who knew about him and when is now underway. Senior Labour MP Harriet Harman has called for Met Police Commissioner Dame Cressida Dick to resign. The Commissioner has apologised to Sarah's family and the public.
I recognise that for some people a precious bond of trust has been damaged. Our dedication to you, our public, remains undiminished. There are no words that can fully express the fury and overwhelming sadness that we all feel about what happened to Sarah. I am so sorry.
Home Secretary Priti Patel says there are serious questions to be answered, but continues to back the Commissioner.
It is right that we constantly hold the police to account with regards to the whole issue around the fact that he was a serving police officer. There are questions, serious questions that will need to be answered by the Metropolitan Police.
The Labour Party conference wrapped up in Brighton yesterday with Keir Starmer taking to the stage for his first in-person speech as Labour Party leader. He started with an apology.
To the voters that thought we were unpatriotic or irresponsible or that we looked down on them, I say these simple but powerful words. We will never, under my leadership, go into an election with a manifesto that is not a serious plan for government.
He clearly had a lot to say as the speech was 90 minutes long, but he closed out with a list and a promise to get started on winning the next election.
Work, care, equality, security. These are the tools of my trade, and with them, I will go to work. Thank you, conference.
A Brooklyn court found singer R. Kelly guilty on Monday on charges of racketeering and 8 counts of sex trafficking. The trial lasted for 6 weeks and saw the jury deliberate for 9 hours. He was accused of using his wealth and fame to facilitate the abuse of women and children, luring in victims with promises to help them in their music careers. The 54-year-old's been the centre of allegations for 30 years, having previously been charged and acquitted on child pornography charges. He still faces charges in Chicago, Illinois and Minnesota. He'll be sentenced on May the 4th, 2022 and could face life in prison. Lawyer for his victims, Gloria Allred, says he deserves to be locked up for a long time.
I have been practicing law for 47 years. Of all the predators that I have pursued, however, Mr. Kelly is the worst. These were not May-October relationships. These were crimes against children and some adults.
Still to come on the Standout 7, good news for Britney Spears, and James Bond finally gets his red carpet. Right after this.
You're listening to the Smart 7. If you're enjoying it, you might also like the Smart 7 Ireland edition. Just search and follow us on your favourite podcast platform. Greta Thunberg has been a voice for climate action since 2018, when at 15 she started protesting outside the Swedish Parliament. And now, even though Boris is talking about bunny hugging and Kermit the Frog at the UN, he's not impressed Greta, who's running out of patience with the slow pace of change. She spoke at the Youth for Climate Summit in Italy on Tuesday night and was scathing in her response to climate promises by both Boris and Joe Biden.
This is not about some expensive, politically correct green act of bunny hugging or blah, blah, blah. Build back better, blah, blah, blah. Green economy, blah, blah, blah. This is all we hear from our so-called leaders. Words that sound great, but so far has led to no action.
Wednesday saw Britney Spears back in an LA court to continue her efforts to break free of the long-running conservatorship that's controlled her life. And it was good news for her, as her very efficient lawyer Matthew Rosengart announced outside the court.
I'm so pleased and proud to say Jamie Spears is no longer a conservator. Jamie Spears has been suspended and he will be formally removed shortly. Jamie Spears and others are going to face even more serious ramifications.
We've waited quite a long time for No Time to Die, Daniel Craig's last outing as James Bond. Tuesday night saw its official red carpet premiere, and Daniel Craig in a startling pink tuxedo was in a thoughtful mood.
I genuinely don't have any bad memories. I really don't. Everything's outweighed by the good. But I keep saying, I think it's going to take about another 15 years for me to unpick all this.
Even as Daniel steps down as 007, Lashana Lynch joins as a brand new 00 agent licensed to kill. And for her, it's quite a moment to take on a lead role in a movie of this scale and with this much history.
Something that's in our bones. It's the fabric of the world, Bond movies. And now we get to see a strong, black, vulnerable, quirky, comedic, sassy, very skilled woman be right there in a lead role. I'm really proud.
This has been the Standout 7, the best of the week from the Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. with the Sunday 7. Have a great rest of your weekend.